fly with me. Come and fly with me, fly with me, fly with me. Come and fly with me, come and fly with me. Come and fly with me, come and fly with me. Come and fly with me, come and fly with me. Come and fly with me, fly with me, fly with me.
Right on, right on. How's everybody out there doing in media world, Facebook world, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube? Everybody out there, thank you very much. Welcome to the Rick Naya Show. I've got a new monitor on today. It's kind of off a little, but there it is, a little. Right on. So anyway, I want to thank you all for last week. We had a great show last week. We had a lot of visitors on the page and a lot of communication going off with our fans. There's Jack O'Clair and David Stokes already saying hello. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for joining me last week in Alchemy League. Great conversation about traversing the community with the socioeconomic and the powerful elite corporate cannabis industry. I found it really interesting, and I'm looking at how we get rid of that divide and we bring the community together in a much broader way within our industry. I always take a few moments to thank our sponsors, and I'd like to thank our primary sponsor and one of my dear friends at Circle Signworks for all the work and attention they give me on our billboards and within the media arena. And if anybody needs any help with billboard signage and getting your products out throughout New England here and in New Hampshire, please do get a hold of us here at Circle Signworks. We'll be happy to help you. And I also want to thank my light company, American Vision Clear Light Technologies. And what we'll be promoting here in the next several weeks, I can't wait to release this, the Rick Naya Pro Grow Series lights. And I'm super excited to go nationwide, worldwide with these patented trademark lights. I'm super stoked about that. And CryoCure, as always, my CryoCure family. Next week's event will be with CryoCure. I'm super stoked about that. And as we get through the show, I'll pop off a few more. In the meantime, I think it's time to get to business. I don't like to do as I was doing originally, which was talking about all the sponsors because it was my first shows and it was exciting. But it's a lot more exciting to talk to the guests and learn more about them and what triggered them into the cannabis arena and within the community. And I have a very special guest that it was very honored to meet many years ago, several years anyway, in a very amazing circumstance, and how it revolutionized and helped change my entire dynamics and the way I see the world and how I see health and wellness. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Jessica Love of Love Java. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you for such a lovely introduction. I am super stoked to be here, and I love talking about my product and my history, goals, and supporting the whole cannabis community as we grow and evolve together.
That's wonderful. I do know that you've been championing a number of different thoughts and processes and conscious and subconscious thoughts and life-changing types of living, choices of life, and how to revolutionize yourself, so to speak. Let's get back a little bit and ask, some other questions like, like where are you from, and what school did you go to? Where are you from? Give us a little bit about some of your insight. We don't need to have it all, but let's hear a little bit about that upbringing.
All right, let's take it back to Florida, where I was born and spent my first 31 years. And basically, I went to public school and private school until 7th grade, and then I was homeschooled after that. And that was really lame, and doesn't have to be, though. My parents just weren't really very supportive of the whole homeschooling experience. And so when I was 15 years old, I pretty much just gave up and moved out, and I have been in the University of Life ever since. So here I am with my PhD in life, and from the School of Hard Knocks. And I know you're from Florida as well, so it's quite a different culture up here. I'm very thankful to have cannabis, which Florida still doesn't have, but I'm a big fan, and I would love to see more black and gray market entrepreneurs rise up.
Wow, that's neat to say. I love those words, black and gray markets. I think that's really, it says it in itself. But really, it's a nice thing to share. Encompassing black and gray markets, there's a lot that goes with that. Could you share with us a little bit what basically triggered your thought process into thinking that the cannabis arena was somewhere that you could leave a footprint, and how that came about? What triggered that momentum?
Well, because I had an amazing product to begin with. My superfood coffee elixir was not cannabis infused in the beginning, but I basically started a personal transformation for health and wellness in myself. Got off of pharmaceuticals, many, many years of heavy use, and I just wanted to start a whole new life and do everything the opposite of how I had been doing it. So I threw out all my food one day, and I spent $300 at the health food store, and completely restocked with all kinds of things that I didn't really know what they were or how to cook them. But I was determined to figure that out. My apartment caught fire the next day, so I lost all of those groceries. Funny story. But anyways, I started feeling better, and I started researching more, and I stumbled across, I was really shooting for a gluten-free lifestyle and looking into paleo living, which is high fat, low carb, and low toxin, like natural foods, nothing processed, no grains. And so I was starting to get into that, and I came across this butter coffee phenomenon that is marketed by the leading brand called Bulletproof Coffee. And, I was like, why not? There's a whole lot of information here. So I put some cheap butter into my cheap coffee, and I felt a little bit better. And then I got the coconut oil and I felt a little better. And then I got better coffee and I felt a little better. And so then I started having it for breakfast as recommended to get the most bang for your buck, really, as like an intermittent fasting protocol. So that was phenomenal and life-changing. And so I told friends about it. They tried it. I wasn't hallucinating. They were totally blown away. So of course, I had to sell it. And so I started selling that as a, lifetime free marketeer in gray and black markets. And, everything was going great. And then actually at your Hemp Fest, I met a bunch of people that were into CBDs, which I was not even really familiar with what that was exactly. But they were very cool and people, and I gave them some free love Java, and they basically came running back with CBD samples and said, you have to put this in there. And I was like, I don't even understand what it is, but now I understand a little bit at least. Because of what it does for me, but also basically the CBD and the fats from the grass-fed butter and the MCT oil in the love Java actually synergize, and you're really making alchemy in there. It's like a cup full of gold. So, other butter coffee brands started coming onto the market, and the whole idea is that we're putting nutrients and things into our system that we haven't seen in a long time based on the SAD, S-A-D, the standard American diet is SAD. So we're missing high quality fats and lots of them. We're missing cannabinoids. They're not in the agriculture anymore. So logically, the next step of this whole paleo living phenomenon is putting cannabis into these caveman foods and products. So really exciting. And I, because there is so much other brands on the market without the cannabis, I thought between it being the next evolutionary step of that product and also being part of the cannabis community and, familiar with black and gray markets and always loving to see rooting for the underdog and love to see things happen. And I love, bringing all these things to the surface that have been oppressed for so long. So it just made a lot of sense for me to pursue it as an infused product. And when I started doing it, I still offered at festivals and events, I offered the regular classic version formula and then the infused formula. And right off the bat, half of my customers switched to the infused. And now, a few years later, almost nobody buys it without the infusion. So I'm very happy with my decision there.
Well, that's quite something. I think in the last 10 years, especially federally speaking, and the hemp industry and CBDs and how we've been able to procure them and how the availability of the resource at levels that are medical grade. And I do know your product. I think there are many of us out there that do, but many of you don't. I spent the better part of the last 2 to 3 years learning about high performance buttered coffee through the Love Java page. And there's a lot of information and education on there for people to better understand what's going on. So if you could please, if you have, we have a few minutes, could you share with us what happens to a person who maybe not feeling all that well, or might be overweight, like I was, almost 300 pounds. Can you tell us really what's going on? Because when you hear, oh, butter and coffee and oil and coffee, you're thinking, there's no way, dude, I'm going to get fatter and this is just not going to work. Could you run it by people on the gist, like, hey, folks, this is what happens when you mix these things together, and this is what's going to happen if you stick with this. Can you give us a good hoorah on that?
Sure. Well, it's kind of like how I decided to just do everything the opposite for my own personal health and wellness transformation. Really, I'm a voluntarist. I don't believe anything the government says. And so when you flip that food pyramid that's been shoved in our face our whole lives upside down,
From this to
that's
this.
the way to go. Yeah, because you want to get
Mm.
lots of fat and very little grains and carbs. And what's happened is, as we have seen over the years since this food pyramid has been instated and uh, the marketing against the fats, and then the fats were replaced with fake sugars and all kinds of frankenfoods. So basically, you can go to my Love Java website. It's lovejava.com, LUVJAVA.com. I have a couple simple little graphs there that show as people left behind traditional fats and traditional foods and adapted these low fat, laboratory created foods, margarine, low fat, everything. Basically, everybody started getting sick and fat. And the rate of heart disease, cancer, and obesity increased exactly to the tune of the adaptation of those foods. So here we are, many decades later, everybody's sick. Lots of people are massively overweight. And so what happens is when you stop fueling your brain and body on sugar and start fueling it on healthy fat fuel, it's going to change the whole way you feel, the whole way your body works. It's going to increase your metabolism. It's going to melt fat right off, especially when you have it for breakfast with the butter coffee like you did. And you're going to have an increase of both physical and mental energy, and it's a smooth, sustained energy from the coffee. And the more fat you eat and the less carbs you eat, the better you will do. And if I recall correctly, when you started drinking Love Java for breakfast, you didn't actually modify your diet a whole lot. And you had some significant results to the tune of about almost 100 pounds in 6 months.
Yeah, I want to share, if you don't mind. I want to make an interjection so that the fans and people that are there, and hi family. We've got quite a few guests out there right now, and I always like stopping for a minute to say hi. Hi Dan, hi Erica, hi Larry, hi Joanna, hi Jeff, hi Bob, hey Dwarf. There's a lot of people on the stream now, and thank you for all stopping in very much. But like with me, it was the first time I saw Love Java was quite an unusual circumstance. It was not, yeah. But what I do remember when I began was that for several weeks I just continued eating junk food. I hadn't yet attuned my organs to understand the benefits. I think that's what happened, and then I think it was 2 or 3 weeks into this, I was like, what's going on, man? I'm drinking this. And then one day, I just felt something through my body. I even said, I think I remember saying, wow, man, I think my body's eating the fat from itself.
Yeah.
Something was going on. I was like, I would drink the coffee from 7 a.m. until 11 or 12. I'd maybe have a snack, and then I wouldn't eat till 2 or 3 or 4ish because I was starving at that point. And then I went away from eating Big Macs and hamburgers and all that junk food to good CBD infused foods and different cannabinoids within foods that were being suggested to me. And it really, it pretty much revolutionized the way my engine worked again without having to train or go to the gym and I gotta go run. I gotta tell everybody, I didn't do anything, everybody. And anybody that knew me, they knew I was a big man. And I'd walk past people, they didn't even recognize me. Rick, and I lost, like you said, about 100 pounds in 6 months. It was amazing. And I've kept it all off. I'm at my high school weight. I graduated at 221. I weighed myself today, 221 pounds. And that to me is like, woo, 40 years later, I just weigh the same that I do in high school. And I think I'm better looking anyway. But besides that, now let's get back to the CBDs and the transition between, like you said earlier, you started off with this coffee and then you started out with that and then you went to this. Tell us a little bit more about your products now. I know they're high grade and like the purest forms. Tell us a little bit about it and like your product line, because I remember it was like one coffee and then it went on to so many different things. Where's Love Java now with the types of coffees that you're offering us?
Well, that's a good question. Basically, I am still working through my networks and delivering locally and shipping to friends, Facebook peoples, word of mouth people that hear. And so I'm able to basically make any kind of custom formula. And that includes, my classic formula is really a high grade organic cold brew with grass fed butter. I use Kerrygold, a shot of MCT oil, and a dash of organic cacao powder. So it's kind of like a mocha butter latte. So that is actually the most popular after all of the different flavors I've come up with and thrown out there. Just the regular one is the most popular, but I can do half calf, I can do decaf, I can do green tea, black tea. I could put cocoa butter in there and make a white chocolate. I've made pumpkin flavor in pumpkin season, and sometimes just cinnamon or vanilla bean powder. All those things are great. Ceylon cinnamon has added health benefits. Vanilla bean powder has added health benefits. So those are cool. And I recently got a case of 50 prototypes from a formulation lab, and they're all just the classic formula. And I would like to get those into the smoke shops and the health food stores, gyms. Those are like really the target market to get the product into. I mean, it sure could be at local artisan stores, farm stands. It could be in gas stations all across the country. It's not stopping. More and more people are picking up on this lifestyle change and seeing the benefits. So it's not a fad. It's getting back to nature and really working with your body as a chemistry set. So I have the 50 prototype units, and basically I am looking to, I would like to find a new person to co-pack them and possibly some distribution people or channels. But I mean, I'm in Maine and we have a food sovereignty law here. And so any food products made in Maine are allowed to be sold in Maine without any questions asked. So if I can't find the right people to work with, I have friends that have offered to help me fill the packs, and we will get them out to these local stores, at least in Maine, if not in other places.
Well, I find that very interesting. Do you have any packaging to share with everybody? Can you share some of your packaging? I remember the evolution of the packaging, and I think that's really, it's not only that it's convenient to use, but even if you were on the go and you didn't have anything anywhere to heat it up or anything, you could actually take it right out of the pouch and drink that, or mix it with a bottle of water and shake it up and drink it cold brew like that.
Yeah,
I love it myself. I've been talking about it since the day I drank it, and I think I've been sharing this news with everybody. I think people they all know. Anybody that knows me, they know that how much I adore drinking it, and what it did for me in my health, and the benefits surrounding the thought process, the conscious thought process of what's happening when I'm drinking this. How is this going to benefit me down the road for real? What kind of a plan did I have to stick to get the benefit from that, the health and wellness from it? And it was it was really kind of mind changing. It was it really it did it changed me. I think a lot of people that drink bulletproof coffee or the love Java coffee, or they find that the health and wellness from it is undeniable. I'm sure that on your page you have a lot of guests that come and make reviews, and for those of you that don't know, can you share some of your web information, links where you can be found, kind of a thing, real quick?
Yeah, the website is really great looking, very proud of it. That's at lovejava.com, LUVJAVA, like this right here. My Facebook page would be found under Love Java as well, or maybe Love Java Inc. Basically, my website puts a few quotes in from doctors and health experts. There's a little bit of information. Please do your own research. I've got every ingredient that's in the product listed on the website, and then a description of what that ingredient does and the benefits of it. And then basically when you blend them all together, how amazing it is. So yeah, that's about it for web pages and stuff. So shoot me a like. If you've tried my product, please put a review on Facebook.
That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about revolutionizing and revolutionary things, and how, not only the mindset of coffee, but how coffee really, I know a lot about coffee too. If those of you that don't know, I was very involved in coffee for many, many, many years here in the country. And I took great pride in the coffee stock here in America. I really enjoy the history of coffee. And I wanted to share a little bit about that, and perhaps you might be able to fill in a little bit about, what you might know about how coffee, really actually changed the world and how it revolutionized things. Can you share a little bit about your experience and knowledge of coffee?
I sure can. It's only coming from, links on the internet because, again, I did not go to regular school or do any of that. So I haven't actually studied a whole lot myself. But what I did find is several links, and I sent you guys a few of my favorites about the influence of coffee over basically creativity, social unrest, innovation. And so there's multiple revolutions in history, like the French Revolution, the American Revolution, and the Renaissance, especially, where coffee became a thing. And especially when people started replacing their alcohol intake with coffee, that really fueled a lot of needed change in those times. And so I know that, like, with the Renaissance, that was the time of like Michelangelo and different artists. And what was really interesting to me also is that people started drinking coffee and they wanted to chit chat, and they're feeling good, their brain's working. So people started forming community cafes, and really the community cafes became a center point where the meetings of the minds would occur. And, people would gather at community cafes and drink coffee and talk to each other and brainstorm and create these things that expanded people's minds and abilities. And so that is all very exciting. And when I first decided that this should be packaged, because those first few years I was selling it actually in the cup, ready to drink. But people kept asking, how do I get this shipped to my home? And I was like, I don't know. Nobody had actually packaged it yet. I told them where to get the ingredients and how to blend it, but they didn't want to do that. So I started working on a packaged product, and lo and behold, Bulletproof Coffee came out with a packaged product right then, as well as like 5 other companies. So when I started thinking about packaging it, I really dreamed of having spaces where the meetings of the minds of our generation could happen. And I know there was a time when we were at an event, and you being the cannabis king, and I have the coffee queen going on. And then also one of my friends that started a premium top shelf chocolate shop. We were all there at an event having love Java in my little cafe. And I was so stoked because I do have the coffee and the cannabis and the chocolate in my product, and we're all sitting around talking about it. And it was just, that was an awesome time. So, I love that there is this wave of, there's actually been a couple waves of coffee revolution already. And, we have these artisan coffee shops, and people are really into it and spending big money for good coffee. And so, like I said, this is a whole new different type of way to enjoy coffee and to make it not only healthy, but like the key to your health, because starting your day with the fats is, like you said, you didn't change your diet too much at first. I don't really remember you changing your diet a whole lot the entire time, but even if you just start drinking it at first, you'll notice that you don't really crave carbs as much, because your body's going to start running on fat fuel instead of sugar. And so it's going to reduce that sugar cycle, the craving and the spike and the crash. Like, that stuff starts to go away because you're fueling yourself on fat. And there's a lot of science that you can look into on that.
I think that you just bounced on that one topic that people don't get through their skulls. It's so amazing. If we could repeat that, a little slowly, and like let them know what really happens, because we're so used to, we're addicts to food industry products, byproducts, pharmacopoeia that's been in poisons actually put in foods to preserve these things. And we consume this garbage, and it's so toxic for us. So I do remember going through that 2 or 3 week phase where like nothing was going on. I mean, really, I didn't feel it, nothing. Other than I'd wake up and that MCT oil just, I'm alert. I'm a little bit more alert than just having a cup of coffee here. Wait a minute, I'm intuitive. I'm really focused. And I remember how focused my reading aptitude became. I could stay focused at the screen. I could stay more focused. It was like that. And then within another week or so, I felt that everybody, you got to know, it's almost like dietary. You go through this and it's like, woo, it goes through you. And then finally, the mechanisms of the desire for sugars turns into a motor that burns this fat that you have stored. So can you key in a little bit more on how that works, Jessica, so everybody gets a good idea?
Yeah, sure. So, sugar turns into fat. Fat doesn't turn into fat except for when you have toxic fats like processed oils that came into the dietary arena several decades ago. Like I mentioned, when people stopped using butter, lard, coconut oils, traditional fat oils, and they started taking in this margarine junk, that will make you fat. Yeah, along with the sugars. So, but when you fuel your body on healthy fats, you're actually going to trigger your metabolism, and it's going to keep you lean and mean machine, because you're going to be basically providing your body optimal fuel. And so, I've seen people enjoy the benefits without changing their diet a whole lot. And I've seen people have incredible benefits when they really, take on that whole high fat lifestyle kind of thing.
You showed the card a little earlier. Can you share the card again a little bit on the back? Yeah, people go online there and really get a look at her page. It's easy on the eyes. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's almost like a code to health and wellness that she's got on her website. I think for those of you that are interested, and like many people that know me, I'm trying to be into this health and conscious space of love and giving and the truth of light that I'm asked to be in. And I believe that this coffee allowed to trigger a mechanism within me that said I can do this and I can get through this. And it was easy. It wasn't hard. It was very simplified. Just a very short change of diet triggered like my shrine. It brought me back this shine. It brought me back light. A lot of people always ask me, dude, what's up with you, dude? What do you mean, dude? I'm all about the cannabis and peace and love. Beantown, Greentown. So I'm all about sharing that, but I didn't know how it would optimize in my world as it has many of your other users, because like I said, you can see the reviews and it can be life-changing. So, I like talking about it, sharing it, and I like sharing that information that you have. And, you mold a little bit around coffee's history. And I know I'd like to share a little bit about coffee history too. Um, for many of you that don't know, I come from a legacy of a shipping company. And back in the early days in London, in the early 1600s, mid 1600s, in a coffee house in London is where Lloyd's of London banks were created, and insurance for coffee and sugar. And our family and the Lloyds have been friends for almost 600 years. So it's really quite something, a little piece of coffee and sugar and just the history of coffee coming through my ancestors and knowing that. But I think another thing that's important when I mentioned revolutionizing was that when coffee began its voyages from Brazil and the southern hemispheres through Cuba and then to the U.S. and up the seaboard up into London and to Europe, there were Moors and Moroccans that were drinking Arabic coffee way back in the day. And they imposed strange laws, the Brits, upon them that wouldn't allow them to drink coffee at the coffee houses. They had to go do it on their own. It was really quite something. But what's even greater than that is that we had a revolution and a Boston Tea Party over tea. And if you drank tea, you were unpatriotic. You had to drink coffee. And I think that that's super cool. And it's another indicative thing about you and your political mindsets. Can you share a little bit about what brought you to New Hampshire? I don't think it was Love Java. I believe it was something else. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, sure. And you touched on some of that as well in the is touched on in the at least one of the articles about how basically in one of the revolutions it was noted that these people that were sitting around drinking coffee in the community cafes were trashing the government, and the government wanted to squash that, of course. But very interesting times and how history repeats itself. So I actually came up here mostly to transform my health and also be a part of the liberty movement in New Hampshire, and having a life of history of agorism, which is black and gray markets, counter economics, hashtag Black Markets Matter, and also being raised in a fundamentalist type organization. I really learned a lot from that experience. Although it was overall a negative, there are positives to extract from it, including community building and nation building and all kinds of fun things. And when I left the organization of the fundamentalists, I went pretty well into a journey of agorism, and when I learned about New Hampshire having the Free State Project, I knew right away that that's where I should go get healthy and, share my skills and seek to self-actualize my fullest potential. So I came here to do that. And, as I mentioned, on my path to getting healthy, I came across this butter coffee formula, and it really changed my life. Also, one of the things, there's many people that have shed lots of weight by having butter coffee for breakfast, melting a pound of fat a day. I was not looking to lose weight. I was looking to get my brain back, because when I quit pharmaceuticals, I felt like totally brain damaged. I did not really understand anything. I couldn't read a book. I couldn't watch a TV show and like even comprehend it. And it was pretty miserable. So that was a wonderful benefit for me. And like other people, like there's an attorney in the Liberty community that drank some Love Java before he went to court one day. And I remember he came back and he made a post and he was like, "This stuff is not a joke. I was on fire in there." So whatever it is, there can be all kinds of different health and wellness issues that can be addressed with this type of lifestyle adaptation. And basically, to get the fullest benefit from it, you would want to take on a grain-free or at least gluten-free type lifestyle, low sugar. If you're really hardcore, you want to lose a lot of weight, or you've got some serious dis-eases, definitely I would recommend going like full keto, which I've never even done myself, but keto is extremely low carb and lots of animal products, high quality grass-fed beef, fish, eggs, cheeses, dairy, stuff like that. So there's all different ways you can take it. Love Java is definitely an optimizer if you've got serious concerns. That's why I call it the gateway to your health freedom, because you drink it in the morning, it really opens you up to your best possible day. I've got Carpe Diem on the label. And also, when I redesigned the labeling, I added Our Age of Enlightenment runs on Love Java, based on that coffee history and the revolution.
Well, that's really quite something, Jessica. It's a lot of information to bounce off, because the cannabis arena, cannabis community, cannabis businesses and products, they abound. There's a lot of people with some great intellectual insight into product manufacturing, distribution, and bringing the product in line with labeling and being safe to consume nationally, or for that matter, through the FDA or anybody else's businesses. And I know that your products are all fresh made, handmade, pretty much like from farm to your serving device. It's all pure high grade products. And your website, again, fills you in a lot about that. For me, personally, again, it's a lifestyle. And when you target, you had mentioned earlier, you said, targeting health food stores and different retail markets and vape shops and places that are within the cannabis arena and the wellness arena with CBDs within your products. Do you ever see in the future to have it infused with full grade, full spectrum THCs or high level dose THC?
Yes, actually, I have made some of that here in Maine, and that's gone over very well. I thoroughly enjoy it because, for some reason, when I make my Love Java with canna butter, because I don't really like being stoned. I need to be 100% to accomplish everything I need to do in a 24-hour day each day. So, but I wanted to try it because I had some requests for it, and damn, it's pretty great because you basically get those health benefits, the energy and physical, mental boost for the day. You can go, I go from about 7 or 8 a.m. until 2, 3, 4 p.m. on just Love Java. And then I have solid food. And that really helps with giving your body a break from digesting solids, because it takes such a tremendous amount of energy to digest solids. And when you give your body a break from that, then when you sleep at night, You're getting higher quality sleep because you're not digesting all day long. You're in healing and restoring mode. So, anyways, with the THC, so you drink the Love Java and you get all those benefits. And then after it's been drank since 7 or 8 in the morning, for me at least, it's 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And I start feeling the THC kicking in, which is right when I'm ready to like slow my day down anyway. So like the THC variety is like, that just sets you up for the whole day. Really amazing. And I would love to infuse it with Dynamo Clean Canna Butter.
Well, then, I'll have to make some arrangements to get that done. As you know, and many people probably don't, the Dynamo Queen is a very, very rare breed that I developed specifically for this opportunity for her to use with the product, basically helping revolutionize me. So the plant and the gift of the Dynamo Queen will be coming up shortly. And I can't wait to be able to share that so that you can share that as well with the community and other enthusiasts and partakers within health and wellness. I want to key in a little bit about homeostasis and health and wellness, a little bit up my alley, and what happens endogenously under the consumption of a beverage or a warm beverage for that matter. And then let's compound that with a high-grade protein, fat, and an accelerant, a propellant, which is the MCT oil. For many that don't know, MCT oil can travel very quickly through the body's bloodstream and into the brain and into the neurotranspondies, which actually propels and delivers the CBD or other forms of cannabinoids to bring a balance to those transpondies and bring health and wellness. Can you tell me, and can you tell us all about how many milligrams a serving has, or how many servings are in a pouch? Can you tell us that?
Sure. I use one of these 5-ounce concentrate packs to fill up a 20-ounce travel mug. And basically, I have 2 of those every day for 8 years now. So there's probably about 35 grams of fat in one of these packages. And so that, like I said, don't be scared.
Wow.
That's going to get your metabolism fired up, and it's going to fuel your brain and body. Your brain is actually made of fat, and the MCT oil in it is medium chain triglycerides. That's what MCT stands for, which is similar to the medium chain fats that are in your brain and extremely rare in the SAD American diet. So people are depressed, people are tired, people are anxious, people have hormone imbalances, mood swings, Alzheimer's, all these different things, right? Your brain is malnutritioned. It's dysfunctional. It's like all dried up. You need some MCT oil up in there.
You know, I find that very interesting. It's like the nuts and the fats that they bring. They're very refined, fine oils. And these are the type of oils that, again, as Jessica's mentioning, we don't have in our diets anymore. Everything's been processed and bleached and stamped and poisoned. And it's such a mess that for people like yourself, someone that is revolutionizing a mindset and a product that helps do that. That's a big difference between many of the products that we have in our industry. Many of them, as we know, if they're recreational or medical, remember, I have battled very much for medical for a lot of us. And in the recreational, what do you see your company in the next, let's say, couple of years? What footprint are you going to leave behind? I know you have a great webpage. I know your product's starting to get some more traction again, because I know as a single mother and the trials of raising a child and some other personal things, setbacks that occur in life, you're there now. Your product is ready to get to the market. You mentioned earlier about having distribution and network manufacturers out there. And if any of them are out there listening, and you know myself, and you have an interest in this product as much as I do, please reach out to Jessica. She's looking for some assistance in getting this product out on a large scale market. So could you share a little bit more now? Because this is a good time. We got about half hour left, and we're going to bounce off a couple things and do some giveaways. I've got some cap giveaways. Everybody be ready. This is the one that you won last week. I forgot to tell you that you remember you won a cap. This is the love cap that you won, which I guess is pretty cool. This is the last week's cap, but I got a bunch of other ones we're going to give away today to some of our fans. So for those of you that are out there, be ready, and we're going to kick it off for real, and do a giveaway. But get back to that. What are we going to do? What are you going to do? How are we going to get this on a shelf? And I want anybody that's out there that knows me to recognize that this is going to be one of the products that's receiving the Rick Naya seal of approval, if you'll accept it, as CryoCure and many of my other products that we have on Holistics Hemp Solutions, Urban Acres, the Harvest Cup, the Pheno Cup, all the cups are down with it. So I'd love to be able to help. And within our community, we have so many people like the Toking Dead. I'd love to get Jeff Hoffman and Ben Bartlett hooked up with you in some Love Java and put this on their comics and get some of those apocalyptic zombies hooked up with some Love Java.
Yeah.
That would be a very good opportunity, because these guys are blow ups. They're my familia, they call me, and they have brought in so much love alongside the light and the truth of what we're doing and the message, and not misinformation. And that's another thing I want to share, that you've not misinformed anybody. You've put it out there. You've shaken some legs and tables, but you kept your course. And your website page is very educational, and I want people to hit that thing. If you want to lose some weight, hi abuelo. If you guys want to lose weight and you do want to do it with health and wellness, and you think that CBDs will help you with anti-inflammatory, keeping your chakras and your karma in line, and you're looking to find a new alternative that's going to bring this kind of shine, I'm being honest. I mean, people know me, dude. I'm saying it straight. Give it a shot. Get on, and you'll see how this changes your life. Jessica, is there anything you want to share with people? Is there something you want to give back and some love you want to share?
Yes, I actually, let's see. I want to give away a 4-pack of the Love Java, okay, which they're worth $10 a piece retail. So that is a nice little perk, a little reward winning. And so I don't know how to make that giveaway happen. So while you think about that, I will talk about the getting it to the retail market. So the thing about this product, when I started putting it in a package, is that it is water, oil, and milk fat, and it goes bad very quickly. So all these years, I've been distributing it to my friends and making it fresh and shipping it right out. And it's good. It it'll sit on a counter for a couple weeks before it goes bad. You can put it in the fridge for a few months, but you can't really put it on a store shelf. So that's been holding me up tremendously as far as that goes. Now I figured out how to preserve it for about 3 months on a shelf. And now I need to talk to the people that can help me package this baby and get it onto those shelves. And I do have several connections. None of them are really panning out for that stuff. I'm a single mom, startup entrepreneur. I'm looking for getting started, small quantities possibly. I'm also working on a business plan slide deck to present to potential investors, suppliers, retail outlets, whoever needs to see it. So I am working on those things. What I would like to see happen at some point, I don't know how long it'll take to get there, but I'm just going to keep building brick by brick. So I do want to see this be part of an evolution in the individual and in the collective. I want to see people transforming their health, and I want to see people adapting healthier lifestyles. And I want to see people sitting around talking about how to put the government out of business while they're drinking it. And part of the reason that I moved to New Hampshire for the Liberty Movement there, I really thought with so many people there, there's 5,000 people that have moved there for the Liberty Movement, that they could really, put some energy together and take some action. But after several years, I'm just not actually seeing it happen. And I have adjusted my focus on the activism angle to startup societies and the seasteading movement. So startup societies are where people have gone to a particular government and negotiated a concession for a SEZ, Special Economic Zone, right? So they are basically offering a government to supply jobs to build a free private city on their land, and in exchange, they're building the economy and doing something for the people there, particularly in areas that need help, in exchange for a free economy, an experimental free market economy. So that's happening on land in countries that I can't pronounce, that I've never heard of before. The latest one that's really exciting is in Honduras. And also the most exciting to me is the seasteading movement. And particularly the first major project is in Panama, building right now.
Can you say the name of that again? I don't think they heard. What is it called?
I am most excited about the seasteading movement, and that is through the seasteading.
She said seasteading.
Yes, it's like homesteading, but on the sea.
Right. All right, here we go.
I mean, there's lots of people that live on a houseboat, and there's people that have done small scale type stuff, and that's all very interesting. But the goal of the Seasteading Institute and the people that are building right offshore in Panama right now, that have a concession with the Panamanian government for a special economic zone, they're building sea pod homes, which are very futuristic looking, very exciting. And they're actually 3D printing the parts for the sea pod homes. And those massive 3D printers will also eventually print pieces of the floating sustainable islands and lock them together like Legos. And they're going to continue building out until they can build totally free islands in international waters. So the further they build out away from the country and the government, the more freedom that they can have. And so that's starting in Panama right now. And I have some lovely Facebook friends that I hope to meet one day there and have my product there. So the president of the Seasteading Institute tried it at a festival, and that's how I met him. And he was just like, after 5 days, he was like, I can't get enough of this stuff. And I was like, I think I know who you are. Are you the seasteading guy? I just watched all your videos. How can we work together? So that was really exciting. And I was just talking to them earlier today, actually, about, nothing is really set up there yet. They just are building the facility to build the stuff. So asking about how to get Love Java on the island and whatnot. But I would love to see that happen. And then it would fulfill the whole marketing tags. This age of enlightenment runs on Love Java, your gateway to health freedom.
I think that's really quite something. Building I'm not going to call it a Lego building because I understand the theory of the ocean and the sea. So I'm sure that they're being designed in a way that's sustainable. And I really find it very interesting, how to separate oneself truly anatomically from government that way. Like what, governance then becomes that of those from lies within that pod. It's almost like I'm the captain of my pod or my little island build. And you share voluntarily, consciously, and barter, I would suppose, because island people and nautical people who travel around the world, as I have, know that bartering is a key essential to sharing love on the open ocean. So I think that's a really very
Well,
neat.
it's a voluntary movement in the way that doesn't mean volunteering or bartering. It is definitely a capitalist movement. And because we're going to need investors with large sums of money, and there has to be an incentive for those investors. And also, we want to facilitate the development of more entrepreneurs. Okay, we want to see people designing things that don't exist yet, that help the ocean, different ways of existing on these islands, and technologies and aquaculture and things that I don't really personally know about. But we're going to need entrepreneurs. And voluntarism doesn't mean volunteering. It means that you believe in voluntary, consensual adult agreements. It means that you do not believe in force and coercion, which is exactly what the government is. And so what we're trying to accomplish with these movements is to create a system of governance that is peaceful and that is competitive, where, say, we have a free private city or a seastead island, and there's going to be a person that owns that island, and it's going to set a code of conduct. And it's going to be a very peaceful code of conduct to live by morals and principles. But it could be anything. You could start a startup city or a seastead that's completely socialistic. It could be a commune if you want. But and that's the idea, is how many different types of islands and startup cities can we have? How many choices can we create for all of these people to get more of what they want? Because right now, nobody's getting what they want. It's like half and half divided, and everybody's fighting each other. So if we break off into small private cities and startup societies, and people can create exactly the type of economic system and social environment that they want. And with the seasteading movement, you'd vote with your boat. If you don't like, vote with your boat. If you don't like one island, take off to the next island and go check that out, because they got a whole other scene going on the next island. But everything is voluntarily consensual. Nobody is forcing anyone else to do anything. That's the point.
That sounds very atypical of people who are, nautical people. I've traveled the Bahamian chains, and I know what it's like living on a sailboat or a yacht, traveling with people, and they're called flotillas. And it's really quite unique to basically say, let's strap it all together with a puzzle somehow that way. It's pretty unique. For those of you that don't know, seasteading.com, go check it out. A lot of information about what they're up to there. Thank you for some insight on that. Thank you for sharing so much about coffee and where you're going. I think coffee truly has revolutionized the world, and I think there's still a lot more to come with health and wellness. And I believe and know that Love Java does have its place not only here in New England, but I believe on a national, international level. It's a very high grade quality product that does support health and wellness, and it gives you a great balance and a sense of security. Once you get through the first hurdle and you see it happening, well, you can see it. You just look at Jessica, look at me, it shines on you. You just know it. For those that are, I wish we had some other guests here now to pop the before and after photographs so that your guests would all know, like, that's impossible. Well, no, it's not impossible, because I'm living proof. And I'd like to make names, but I won't. But and they could also be guests and say the same thing, that if you believe in yourself and you want health and wellness and a good balance of conscious thoughts, and for those not only around you but within you, I think that this is a good opportunity for a lot of people out there to make that next step towards health and wellness. We're getting almost about 15 minutes before the show ends. I already mentioned that we're going to do an award. You want to give away some packs. This one's yours. Of course, it's a heart for Love Java, and because I love it so much. And
I have a little heart on my Love Java pouch. It says "Made with Love."
See, perfect. Couldn't get any better. So let's do this. You said you want to give away some pouches, and
Sure.
you wanted to come up with a way of giving away these pouches. And I want to. I'm being looked at. Don't use me. So okay, I won't use him. But that is my primary sponsor from Circle Sign Works, and I love him very much. But anyway, here's the first cap that I have. I know you've got 4. So let's do this. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Why don't we do this? We give a cap, and we give away a Love Java to people. That way they can enjoy a cap and a Love Java at the same time. So for your 4, I've got 4 caps I'm going to give away.
Okay.
And the first one says Squad. Second one says Life Goals. Third one says Happy Hour. And the fourth one says Lime, Salt, and Tequila. So here we go. I've got 4 caps that have been donated by my Pheno Cup from Justin Rayu and Scott Audette. Thank you very much, Pheno Cup, my brothers and my family, and my one of my best friends for donating the caps and the things we've been giving away the last couple weeks. So what we've been doing is we've been asking people to pick a number between 1 and 1,000. And if anybody's out there and you're willing to win a Love Java pouch that is capable of making either 2 10-ounce or 1 20-ounce tall tumbler of high-performance butter coffee for health and wellness and a free cap, pick a number between 1 and 1,000 starting now. So I've got everybody on the clock. There's quite a few of you on there. I hope you're still there. I can't believe how many people popped off on here. There's quite a few, so I'm happy about that. Thanks again to many of our sponsors, beginning with Circle Sign Works, American Media, and Machine Vision, I'm sorry. I'd also like to thank Clearlight Technologies, CryoCure, Kind Clean, Beantown, Greentown, Happy Chicks Natural Solutions, my company Kinesk, Holistic Hemp Solutions, Urban Acres, Love Java, which is a sponsor as well, and Turptown Throwdown. I'd also like to take a special moment and thank MassCan for all that they do and all the support that they give the community throughout New England. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Brain Trust, and all my friends in the MassCan Brain Trust for inviting me and able to share a lot of our insight and leaving a profound legacy for cannabis and how we go about doing that as one. I also want to thank Fisher Agencies. I want to thank Melissa Faulkner. If anybody has anything that they need for insurance, any projects, they're pretty much designed to help the working families of New England. So reach out to Melissa. She can certainly help you at Fisher Agencies. So let's have a look. Any numbers out there yet? Let's get a scroll down. Oh, here we go. We got a few people. The first number that I have has yet been attained. We've got a couple of close ones. No one yet, so keep guessing. I don't care if you guess once, keep going. We've got 2 420s, 150, and 526. So you know I'll say no, so that should give you an idea where your numbers should be. So you're very close. I'm going to do this. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. That way we know that they don't know, and it makes it a little bit funner to see what's going on. So Nicholas, Carl, Heather, Karen, Alberto, Dan, for those of you that are out there, keep voting. Karen Motes voted 1,000. That is not the number, but keep going. So you got to know. Look at the numbers that are there. And if those aren't the winners, you know where you need to be. Whoa. Heather Marie Brown hit it at 710. Real close, Heather, on that one. Yeah, that's real close. Carl, you're at 479. That's still not it. We've still got a few going. I wonder if we should just give it between 10 because it's kind of hard to nail the number. All right, we're going to call it right there for the first award. And of course, my lovely cohort and friend and cannabis staunch activist and friend of New Hampshire, Heather Marie Brown, wins with number 710. And the number was 701. So Heather, if you could PM me. I owe you a t-shirt from last week. I have your cap that'll go with it. And if you can hit up Jessica Love, I'm sure she'll be happy to send you your pouch. And thank you for sharing your love with me and with all of us all these years, Heather. I appreciate you very much. So Heather Marie Brown wins prize number 1 of the night. So here we go. We're going to go on to the happy hour award now for another pooch. Let's start all over again, everybody. I'm stopping with numbers. I'm going to say stop. You'll see my stop on the post. That means we start all over again. Oh, did I get that right? Let's get that to click on here. Sorry about that. All right, so let's see. Stop, start. All right, you guys should see that. I don't know where it pops off on this thing. Holy cow. So anyway, let's start all over again. Heather Marie Brown, right underneath, very nice, where you said that. Let's start all over again with the next number between 1 and 1,000 for the happy hour cap and a Love Java pouch of original dynamite. This is the kick-ass health and wellness coffee. So get at it again. Here we go, everybody. Keep going. One more time. We're going to get another round. We've got 3 more rounds, 2 more rounds to go. Let's go. Let's get out there and win some more. Yeah, absolutely. I love it when my family asks me for my lighter because I know that they're like me. I try very hard not to smoke while I'm doing my show. So for those of you that look at me and you see me all Chinese-eyed every single show, it's because you know damn well Rick Naya is rich. That's it, baby. Live action. Here we go. Oh, the numbers are pouring in. Here we go. All right, Karen Moach, you're at 180. That's not it. Carl Townsend sends over the illustrious 666. I do love the 69, though. That's pretty much one of my favoriteest numbers in the world. Jack O'Clair is coming back at 702. Nicholas at 356. Keep going, guys. Pour in the numbers. Keep going. Alberto Ricci, where the hell are you? Throw some numbers at me. I know you're Latino. That means dame los números, por favor. We've got people from Puerto Rico, Alaska, all over the country. It's really quite neat. I had one from Norway and Scandinavia the other day, which is really pretty cool. A couple from London, 2 from Spain. So it's really pretty neat to know that, you know, all these years of traveling around and meeting people and sharing my love, that they're still sharing theirs with me. And I love it. I love this opportunity to showcase people who have really put it out there and sacrificed a whole shit ton. I know that Jessica has sacrificed a tremendous amount of her life to overcome so much adversity. And it takes a truly dynamic human being to see through fault and then take no blame on others and accept her own responsibilities and move forward in her love and consciousness and understandings. And to be able to share that with the community, with me, with others, it's been a great fortune of my own, life-saving. And I want to thank you for continuing moving forward as a mother and as a blessed soul and being on this planet in your flesh prison. I love your soul. I love the actions that you abide by. I love how disruptive you can be at times. But if you do understand the message that she brings, it's a little bit more than just a common everyday person. It's a little bit out there and it's a little bit ahead of her time. But those are the kinds of people that make change in this world. And for me, it's revolutionary. I love Java coffee. Get a hold of some of that if you want to change the world. All right, we got a bunch of more numbers. Let me go back through these. Holy cow. 356, Carl 377, Nicholas 945, Alberto 777, nope, 111. So nope, you guys had it in the first numbers. Keep going, Jack O'Clair 895. Nobody's near it. Come on, we got just a short bit of time left. We got about 15 minutes to go, so you can't take all day. Keep throwing numbers, people. What are you doing? Don't just sit there on one number. Come on, for crying out loud. This is Love Java for free in a cap. So whoever wins this one gets a killer dose of Love Java and a happy hour cap. Carl comes back at 941. Keep throwing numbers, Jack. Keep throwing numbers at Beto, Nicholas, Carl. There's one of my partners from the Pheno Cup calling in. So he needs to know that we're doing live. The Rick Naya show is live right now. And I just want to let you know that you're on, and I'm going to interrupt you by saying, see you later. I'll call you back. Okay? Watch the show, brother. You're on it. Live, the Pheno Cup. That's Scotty Audette, my partner from the Pheno Cup, and Justin Rayum. Again, the sponsors of the caps from the Pheno Cup, and my love for them is immeasurable. Wow, more numbers. Okay, nope, these numbers aren't even close. Can somebody come back to reality? What do we do every single day? At what time? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. Yeah, everybody keeps doing this. They do it all the time.
How disappointing.
Jack comes back with a negative 95. Jack, get in that canoe of yours and start thinking about what you like doing every afternoon at what time. If you can get that, you're another winner. So keep going, everybody. Jessica, you want to put any volley in? Come on.
Do I want to put a button?
Yeah, share some of your love out there. And yeah, I think what you should do is just share some love. You're on live. You got thousands of viewers. Share some love.
Well, I just had a couple other things I wanted to note is actually the website for the Seasteading Institute is seasteading.org, not .com. So make sure you check that out. Very exciting stuff. And I just wanted to show the book that was written by the president of the Institute, which is Joe Quirk. And he is a very charismatic and fun guy to watch. So check out the YouTube channel of the Seasteading Institute. That's what got me hooked. And the book is Seasteading, How Floating Nations Will Restore the Environment, Enrich the Poor, Cure the Sick, and Liberate Humanity from Politicians. And Joe always likes to say, and I'm serious. So
serious. Joe Quirk was seasteading, man. Check this book out, people. I think that's an amazing book to share. Thank you for doing that. I'm a nautical being. My last name means goddess of water. I just love the ocean and the water as part of my vibes. I did go to the page. I did sign, and I did check out a number of different things. I want everybody to know if you really want to do something that's truly revolutionary, and you're out there like thinking about going to AmeriCorps or traveling around the world to be, doing compassionate, loving things around the world and helping humanity. Well, here's your chance to break that part of humanity and make a change that's going to be global. That probably will end up in a spacecraft with Elon Musk going to Venus.
Yes, and actually, one of the goals of the seasteading islands in international waters would be a launching pad to colonize Mars.
So here we go.
So, very crazy stuff, but not kidding. Totally serious about it.
Well,
and also, one of the best ways that. What?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. One of the best ways that I can share my love also is with this huge cannabis community. Please get into cryptocurrency. Okay, get yourself some Bitcoin. The easiest way is totally idiot proof is download Cash App. If you don't already have it, you can transfer funds from your bank into Bitcoin immediately without any funny numbers or charts or crazy looking computer geek stuff. It's all really simplified for the everyday computer idiot right here. Cash App is amazing. And then you can get people to pay you with Cash App and turn your revenues into Bitcoin immediately. Very, very simple on Cash App. There's lots of simple ways, but that is the most idiot proof I have found. There's so many holdups to the cannabis community, and cryptocurrency, along with the underlying technology, which is also going to be applied to startup societies and seasteading, is the blockchain technology. And basically, it's peer-to-peer contracts with no third party that cannot be manipulated. So,
wow,
that's a very powerful technology.
Boom. I want to share a little bit about Bitcoin. 10, 11 years ago, I was approached by some of the early landers of the libertarian movement. And, they saw I was and they came and said, hey, dude, you got $1,000? And I went, yeah, why? He goes, dude, give me $1,000 and it'll make you hundreds of millions of dollars in a few years. And I looked at him and I laughed and I said, what is this? He goes, cryptocurrency. And I was like, Crypto, what? Dude, you sound like a fucking creep. What are you talking crypto? What is crypto, dude? And he broke it down. I was like, what? Yeah, let me look at it. I'm going to call my mom. You know, she's pretty connected down at the federal levels. I called up and she goes, crypto? Yeah, stay away from that shit. The Fed's going to shut it down. I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, thanks, buddy. That's cool. I'm not hooking up on that. What a dumbass I was, because at the time, it took 10,000 Bitcoin to buy one pizza.
Yep.
And it was like 10 zeros and a one. And we're like, look, you really, Rick, I'm not joking. I looked at him like that. This can't be.
And now one Bitcoin is worth almost $10,000 today.
Yeah, I got in when it was about 300, and I had about, at the time that I got them, I had about $600 or $700. I spent some in this and that. And in the past 2 or 3 years, I haven't touched it. I've left it alone. I don't even know what it is.
Check that out.
One thing, at the time, it was only worth $200. Now it's 9,000. So I bet that $300 that I got in Bitcoin is worth a couple dollars.
A lot more.
Alone. But I like the Cash App thing. I'll talk to you more about that. We'll share a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I am running a cannabis delivery service here in Maine, and people pay me with Cash App a lot.
You want to share that? You want to share everybody? I mean, you're running.
Yeah, if anybody is listening in Maine, I'm based in the Lewiston, Auburn area, and I am running a cannabis product delivery service. My menu is available on Weed Maps, and the name of my service is called Babes Medicaments. And people pay me with Cash App, and actually, because I basically 2 months ago I bought a car with Bitcoin, and then I got so much payments through my delivery service and Cash App that I started building my cryptocurrency back up, because I would like to save it, but also it's definitely there as an emergency fund. So I have used my Bitcoin savings a few times to rescue myself from things. So very handy there. And we've only scratched the surface. It's the maximum amount that Bitcoin could be worth is hundreds of thousands of dollars per coin. So we're still in the beginning. So it's not too late.
Yeah, we're still way in the infancy. And you know, people look at this, oh, we have these sharks, we have these big whales that have big Bitcoins. Yeah, they got in early. You know, I told my mom 10 years ago, hey, mom, put 10 grand in that shit. It'll be worth millions. She laughed. I bet you now her power brokers are going, we need to get into cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Look at me and go, oh, my God, Dickie, you were right. I said, I tried to tell you that because people like you were sharing this so much far in advance, kind of like Seasteady, kind of like Love Java Coffee, revolutionizing things. All right, I want to get back to the show. I want to get back to who won. So we have a winner. We have two. I have to give it to both of them. Heather Marie Brown, you won again. You get the happy hour. All right. And then Eric O'Clair wins again. He gets a squad cap. So now we're left with one cap. Life goals. Got to have your life goals. No life goals, you sucko. No life goals, you get nowhere. You got to have life goals to get ahead. And even if you manifest them, even if you pray and dream, even if you don't, you're just one lucky son of a bitch and you win. You know what? At least you win. So have some life goals. So let's try this again. One more number between 1 and 1,000, and we've given away our Love Java pouches and our caps for the day. So go for it. Starting now. Go, people. There's about 30 or 40 people going for it, which is cool. I love watching this. I think it's so exciting to see that at the end of the show, that there's still so many people watching, and we get to see in the next few days how many people have actually viewed our show and how you represent your brand. And, you know, it's really quite something. It's not about a self brand. It's about a shared brand. And I've always said, and for those that know me, there is no I in team. We are one, and together we accomplish so much more with good understanding. And I want to touch base on conscious love. You shared a post just the other day. And, you know, I read a lot. I'm a voracious animal when it comes to reading. I'm like a sponge of data, and it streams through me like a portal on a AI super processor. For those of you that don't know what it is, go to her page, try to find out a little bit more and understand about what conscious love is and loving oneself, allowing your cup to be full so you can radiate and share some. It will deplete. It's not always a full cup of mojo every day, but I can assure you that if you take the right steps and you start off with a good cup of love job or a good balanced beginning with mind, body, and spirit, that your day will be better. And you don't have to lag yourself through life looking at the past and what hurt you or what other people might think or say about what progress you might be making. Always remember that you're doing something in our arena that's going to leave a legacy behind. And that's something that I'm very proud to say that you're doing. And I'm glad that we've had you on the show. I'm still waiting for the next numbers. Nobody's close. Heather's started at 710. Nicholas is at 316. Jack O'Clair 425. Keep going, guys, because this is the hardest number you're going to get to win. So if you get this one, I'm super stoked. But anybody within 9 or 10 gets the life goals cap. Jessica, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for being at Strange Creek.
Thank you for being at Strange Creek.
Yeah. Thank you for coming into my world, my life. Thank you for sharing yours with me. Thank you for making it possible for me to make a transition that I never saw coming. And my health and wellness, I can attribute a portion of that to this legacy you've left behind within me. And I want to thank you from my soul to yours for those messages that you left with me and how difficult of a time I watched and how you've overcome being a mother and guiding River and your world. Just it's nice to know that there are people like you that are leading by an example that's raw and real. That's awesome. It's very dynamic of you, and I guess that's why I bred the Dynamo Queen. When you meet someone that's that dynamic, you've got to leave a little piece of you behind, and that's something that I think I've done, and I'm glad that you're doing. Thank you very much. And for those of you that want your prizes, Heather, I have your 2 caps. I've got Eric's cap, and I'm still waiting for the winner of the last one. Oh, Eric's close on that last number. Not within margin, though. I said 9, not 10. So you got to get within 9 numbers, pal. You're real fucking close. Look at Heather Marie and Jack. Everybody's bouncing off the high and low number now because they know you got to get it. I'm going to make them win this one. You son of a bitches better get it right on for this last Love Java cap because you can't wear 2 at once. Well, I guess you could, but you'd look kind of a fool. But anyway, life goals right here rocking it. Florida style. You know what time it is, my Florida peeps. We got that shit going on, South Flow style. J-Lo, you know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
South Florida gal at heart.
Hashtag life goals. Don't forget
That's one of my favorite numbers, 121. Just so you know, that was a race number of mine on a race plane. So I love that number, 121. Just kind of 11-11-ish, 12-12-ish. Woo! Love those numbers, man. And I always seem to look at the clock and it's that time. Anyway, keep going, guys. I've only got 7 or 8 of you left. I know it's hard, but you want to win one of these things because it's an unbelievable start to your day. Heather, you get 2 of them. That's enough for 2 days of good starts to your morning. For real. Oh my God, Eric O'Clair wins it. He got it. Son of a gun. Eric O'Clair wins it with the right number. 1.
Oh my God.
Give Eric Jack O'Clair, you son of a gun. You know, this fella, he found me years ago and like a tick on a wild boar, never let go. He has been such a staunch advocate to common sense policy, whether it be mine, Heather, Erica, Matt, whomever it may have been. If it was common sense and it was not misinformation, he supported it. But he's been a staunch supporter of my own and yours. I believe I kind of turned him on to your tea when you started making the tea, and he still talks about that tea, right? So I love him. Thank you so much for being a blessing to all of us, Eric. Heather Marie Brown, as you know, thank you very much. And all of you who have stayed on to play the Make It Happen raffle giveaway. Thank you so much. Jessica, you wanna wind up the show and close it off for us tonight?
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to my Love Java story and my personal transformation and my past and future path to all of the liberty. So don't forget to check out lovejava.com and my Love Java Facebook page. Shoot me a message, friend request if we're not already. Definitely look into the Seasteading Institute and that totally unbelievable vision that is actually happening, and get yourself some crypto. Cash out.
Right on. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Again, from the Rick Naya Show, my family at Circle Sign Works, American Machine Vision, Clearlight Technologies, and the Rick Naya Pro Grow Series. I can't wait to release my own lights. You know, that's going to be super cool. A company's making a light for me. That's crazy cool. And I can't wait to let that shit go. We're going to fire that off, and I'm going to go step by step growing some of the Dynamo Queens so that everybody can see me make it, breed it, the whole 9 yards. You're going to see it happen. I'll make the can of butter, and then I'll deliver it to her so that she can enjoy that with her Love Java coffee in the mornings. I want to thank Fisher Agencies, Mass Can, Me Can, everybody out there that can, because cannabis can. Thank you very much. I'm Rick Naya, the Make It Happen Show. Thank you, all of you, and have a splendid week until we see you again. Bye-bye.
Come and fly with me. Come and fly with me.